This video was created during the 2023 WGA and SAG strikes. Without the labor of the writers and actors currently on strike, Ahsoka wouldn't exist. Learn more about the strike at the link in the description. The first two episodes of Ahsoka showed us that Grand Admiral Thrawn has gone missing in an entirely different galaxy. I was just under the assumption he was lost in the unknown regions or something, but a whole other galaxy? Yeah, okay, I guess it makes sense why he's having trouble getting home and why he hasn't shown up for any Imperial conference calls. But what do we know about other galaxies in the Star Wars universe? They're more common than you might think, because Star Wars doesn't really care about being scientifically accurate, at all. The Empire Strikes Back showed us the Rebel fleet hanging out just outside another galaxy, which I think was a decision made just because it looked cool. Dexter Jettster told Obi-Wan Kenobi Kamino was located outside of the Rishi Maze, which was another galaxy that orbited the main galaxy far, far away. Morgan's star map also showed several galaxies, but Thrawn's was conveniently highlighted by a circle of Purrgil. Despite other galaxies being fairly common in Star Wars, this still feels like a big deal. This is the first time we will ever actually visit a new galaxy, at least on screen. So is there any hint of what we'll find there? I expect whatever we see will be brand new to all Star Wars fans, but there are certainly some possibilities, so let's talk about them. First, let's bring up the Zeffo. They first appeared in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. They originated within the known galaxy on the planet Zeffo. They were Force wielders who had a connection with Dathomir, which potentially means the Night Sisters, like Morgan as well. Thousands of years earlier, they nearly brought about their own extinction and traveled into the unknown regions to find peace. Morgan claims the reflex point where she accesses the star map was made by an ancient civilization from another galaxy. So maybe the Zeffo originally came from somewhere else, settled on the planet they called Zeffo, and then left again. I think it's worth noting that concept artist Matt Alsop shared some images on Twitter that included Zeffo iconography in the ruins of Arcana. That's interesting for sure, but it's more than likely just a placeholder, kind of the same way the second sister, also from Fallen Order, was used in concept art for Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I also need to point out that the Star Wars Jedi games did strongly connect back to Obi-Wan Kenobi, so maybe the Zeffo could pop up in Ahsoka, and maybe that's why they were largely ignored in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I still think it's unlikely, but you never know. But how about another species that we can say for sure was from another galaxy? Star Wars Legends introduced us to the Yuuzhan Vong, who invaded the known galaxy in a devastating war. They were connected to Thrawn because he was concerned with building up Imperial forces to combat that looming threat. Could they appear in the series? Again, I'm thinking it's unlikely. Personally, I was a fan of the Vong in the New Jedi Order books, but I know they weren't well loved across the fandom. On the other hand, again, there is potential for their appearance because they were almost included in the Clone Wars. There were plans for Yuuzhan Vong scouts to appear to learn about the strength of the Republic and the Jedi, so I don't think it's completely out of the question that the concept could be used again. However, as of right now, they have only appeared in legend stories, and Timothy Zahn has written about a similar culture in his canon Thrawn book called the Grisk. They're another species that caught Thrawn's eye. He was worried that they would conquer his home, the Chiss Ascendancy, and that's why he allied himself with the Empire to help fight against any potential invasion. I don't think they're from a different galaxy, but we don't know everything about them yet, so maybe we'll explore the Grisk for the first time on screen. For another Legends option, in our after show for the first two episodes, username Abnormally Lilith in the chat suggested we might see the Qua, and that's a great pick that I had completely forgotten about. Like the Yuuzhan Vong, they're from Star Wars Legends. There is evidence that they were from outside of the galaxy, but they were connected to Dathomir just like the Zepho, and they created technology called Infinity Gates that allowed for interstellar travel. That is a deep cut, and it's from Legend sources, but it checks boxes for a connection with Dathomir and the Night Sisters, and for possibly being from a different galaxy. I've also seen people throwing around the Rakatan as a possibility. They definitely fit the bill as an ancient species, and they had a history of war with the Qua, but they were from the planet Rakata Prime, or Lihan, within the known galaxy. Personally, I think that rules them out, but the Ahsoka series might change some Legends history and make them from a different galaxy. The Rakata have been mentioned before in Andor of all places. I'm still expecting that wherever we find Thrawn, and hopefully Ezra, it will be somewhere new to all Star Wars fans, something we can all experience for the first time together, but Dave Filoni has been happy to pull in elements from Star Wars books before, and it's interesting that we have multiple possibilities abilities that could connect back to Morgan Elsbeth or Thrawn. So what do you think? Will we see the Zeffo, the Grisk, the Qua, the Rakata, or the Yuuzhan Vong on screen? Do you want to? Or do you think we'll see something brand new? Let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel for our continuing Ahsoka coverage, follow us on our socials, and consider checking out our Patreon page for video reactions and audio commentaries for every episode as they release. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.